Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. Those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Maria, and today we're going to be trying out the newly released, it's the BYREDO Flora Kalahari palette. It's an 18 pan palette. I received it the other day. I picked this up from Selfridges and I haven't even opened it. It's still got the plastic wrapping on. I wanted to take it out and do some photos for Instagram, but life gets in the way and I really wanted to get this video out, and I'm dying to try these on. So I'll just take the plastic wrapping off and edit that part out because it'd be really noisy. So the packaging on the outside is a white cardboard, and then you just push it out and you should be able to see this really beautiful palette. It's highly reflective, so you'll be able to see my camera there, but it's absolutely pristine. It's not going to be once I get all my fingerprints on it, so this is a chance for you to see it. I think that the design on the front of this is absolutely stunning. I think it is really, really beautiful. And I'm going to go to the BYREDO website in a minute because they do explain the design on the front of this palette and a little bit about the eyeshadows. So the shelf life of these eyeshadows is 12 months from date of opening. But if it's like many other eyeshadows that I have, they will last a lot longer than that. They don't have the names of the shades on the outside packaging, but they do have them on the back of the palette. So I'm just going to open her up and we'll take a look inside. And here are the colours, shades. Really, really beautiful. To me, this is not a boring palette at all. There are a lot of neutral shades in here, but I can also see a really, looks like it's going to be a really beautiful green. You can get neutral looks, but I think you could almost, well, you would be able to get quite bold looks as well. There looks to be like a rusty sort of orange there, and also a really gorgeous blue. So on their website, it says it is a lightweight texture. These are easy to blend, they are long lasting, and they have intense colours. That they describe this as an eyeshadow palette with 18 colours. The Flora Kalahari draws on imagined hues of an otherworldly desertscape to create 18 radiant earthen shades. This is a limited edition palette. It's arranged in a disrupted series to inspire instinctive application. A mix of luminous, easy to wear shades in both warm and cool undertones and matte, sparkling and metallic finishes, while its long-lasting formulation delivers crease-free coverage and a highly pigmented finish. It's housed, so this is the description of the palette itself, the outside packaging, housed in a reflective silver mirror case stamped with a marble desert flower that embodies the modern femininity of the palette. So there's no doubt that it is a really beautiful palette. This is only the second BYREDO eyeshadow that I've tried. The other one is one of the smaller packaging. Some people call them nuggets, other than call them oysters. But BYREDO actually described those smaller palettes as raindrops. They're supposed to show the ripple effect of a raindrop. So I refer to them as a raindrop. So there are a lot of shades in here to swatch. So what I'm going to do off camera, I'm going to swatch them on my arm. I don't have any primer on my arm. I will let you know whether I went once or twice, or if I had to go even more to get some colour on my arm. And once I've done that, I'll turn down one of the lights in front of me so you can take a good look at them. So these are the first two rows, and I've swatched left to right. The top row's here, and then is the second row. And what I'll do is I will then wipe all these off and show you the third row as well. The matte shades I had to swatch a couple of times. All the rest of the shades, there was only one swipe to get that swatch. So they're definitely pigmented. They feel super smooth going on. So the shades are Snow Dust, then we have Clay, then we have Faded Eden, then we have the Graces, then we have Sandstorm, and Desert Rock. That was the first row. The second row is Quicksand, Under the Sky, Earthquake, Petal d'Or, Adventurous, and then we have Bravery. And Bravery looks like it has a bit of a shift to it. And here is the third row. We've got Oasis Dream. We've got here, it's Dried Dahlia, Calcite, Burnt Umber, I think it's a Pulpy. And then we have Rose Disables. And as I was saying, these shades felt really, really smooth and creamy going on. And with the mattes, I had to do a couple of swipes to get that to show for on camera here. But with the other finishes, just one swipe, and that was the color payoff I got. I think these shades look really, really beautiful. And on their website, it did say that they are long lasting. And when I went to take the first couple of rows off to get that third row on, it took a bit of wiping to get them off. So I would say that these are going to be long lasting. So after I've finished this video, I'm actually going to be going out for the day. So I really don't want to go too crazy with the colors, because you certainly can. There are some that really, really pack a punch. So I'm going to have to turn this palette over to tell you which shade I'm using. So first of all, I'm going to go in with Clay. I'm going to take the Rapha number 15. And we'll just see how it goes. I haven't really got a plan as to what I'm going to do. But that is lovely. It's going on lovely. It blends really well and has good payoff. I didn't think that colour would be as pigmented. I thought it would be a lot lighter. I thought it would be the same colour as what my eyelid was, but it's a little bit deeper than that. It's really nice shade to begin with. Next I'm going to take the Rapha 14 and I'm going to go into the shade called Desert Rock. Just want to slowly start building this up. I put this through the crease and slightly above as well. Now I really want to try that green shade out. It's called Faded Eden, and I'm going to use the Sonji, the Worker 3, and I'm going to put this in the outer corner. That is a really beautiful shade. It's like a olive green, but has well, on me it looks like it has just a little bit of gold in it as well. It is really, really pretty. So now I'm going to put on a lighter shade in here, and I think the one I'm going to use, it is called a Poppy. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I'm just going to turn the brush on the other side where it's clean. I'll give it a wipe down on the cloth in front of me as well. And I'm going to put that in through here. Now I'm just going to take the Rapha number 3. I'm going to go back into the shade Desert Rock. And I'm going to put that on my lower lash line. And then I've just wiped down the Rapha number 3, and I'm going to go into that very first shade, and that's called Snow Dust. And I'm going to put that in a corner just to lighten it up there. It's quite subtle. I think I might also pop that over my lid as well. And then I'm just going to use my finger, use that same shade. I'm only picking up, I'm not pressing very hard in the pan at all. So it's got a little bit on, and I'm just going to just tap it over my lid. It's really pretty. And then I think on my lower lash line, I want to just darken it up a bit, but I still want to use that green shade, and I use the soft shader brush. So I've just wiped the Rapha number 3, and I'm going into that green shade again, and I'm just going to go. And to line my upper lash line, I'm going to use the Sisley eyeliner. This is in the shade Mystic Green. So I've also put mascara on as well, the one I usually use, the Chanel Le Volume, and this is the finished look. I think it's gorgeous, really, really beautiful. And as I said, I'm going out today. I don't think it's too over the top. I'm a little bit sparkly, but I think it looks really beautiful. And this is going fairly easy with this palette. There's definitely some bold looks you could get out of it, and you could even go softer if you wanted to as well. So now I'm going to put on some blush. I've pulled out, it's the SUQQU. It's a newly released blush, or their range of blushes, and this is the Melting Powder Blush, and this is in 03, and I'm just going to put it on using the SUQQU brush. These blushes are so beautiful, and I just lightly tap this brush into the pan, and you do get a bit of payoff. I don't want my blush to be too bold today, but hopefully you'll still be able to see it when I go out for the day. I don't like my blush to be too bold. And now I'm just going to figure out which lipstick to put on, and then I'll be back. So here is the final look. I decided to go with the newly released, it's the Hermes lipstick. It's called Orange Cappuccino, and even though it's orange, I still think it's a little bit more subtle than maybe a Tom Ford orange lipstick that I have, but I thought it would go nice with the blush and also with the green that I used on the eyeshadow. So what do I think of this palette? I think it's beautiful. I think initially some people were saying that it looked quite boring. I don't think it's boring at all. I will definitely be reaching for this palette, and I want to do some more looks with it. I think with this palette you get beautiful. There's a lot of people out there that are very talented with their eyeshadow and do that halo eyeshadow look. I think you could get some really beautiful looks by doing that. Going dark on the outside and in a beautiful lightness in the middle. These blended beautifully. They swatch beautifully on my arm too. I think they look great on the eye. At this stage, I don't think, even though I've used more of the shimmers, that they don't seem to emphasize the texture on my eyelids. I think they look really, really lovely. This lighter shade in here, I think it was called Snow Dust, is really, really beautiful. And I used my finger just to tap it over the shadows that I had put on. Just gave it that little bit of an extra lift, and I think it looks really, really pretty. So I'm really pleased that I decided to pick this palette up. I skipped the one last year because I thought the colours in it were just a little bit too much bold, and I probably wouldn't reach for it enough, but this is different. You can go really soft and neutral, middle of the road, or you can create some really gorgeous bold evening looks as well. But I think it's really, really lovely, and I'm now ready to go out for the day and meet my younger brother. We always have a great time when we're together. He's a funny guy, and we get on really, really well, and then we're going to go and visit my dad. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.